Hi, everyone. I am Mary Ann McKibben Dana. I am a pastor serving a church in Herndon, Virginia. I am a writer. My most recent book is Hope, a User's Manual. And I am also a ministry and leadership coach. And it was a great joy and a wonderful challenge to work on the Do Not Fear foundational essay and to explore how we can move forward in faith, even in the midst of a fearful culture and anxious times. Our first aspect to explore in our Do Not Fear series is to tune in to God's presence. And as I was thinking about this attribute of moving forward, even in the midst of fear, I was reminded of the writer and podcaster Brene Brown, who, when she would have guests on her show, she would ask them at the end, during kind of a lightning round, she would say, okay, you are about to do something hard. The fear is real. You can feel it right in your body, in your throat. What is the first thing you do? And the answers are always really interesting. But as I was thinking about that from a biblical perspective, what is the first thing we do? What's the first thing we're called to do as Christians when we feel that fear? And for me, that is to listen, and really specifically to listen for God, to tune into where God is in our lives, in the situation, and to really keep our sights, our hearts trained on where God is. And that helps. Maybe it doesn't get rid of our fear, but it helps mitigate it. It helps maybe lessen it, to know that we're not alone, that God is with us. And we see a wonderful example of this in Scripture when the angel Gabriel visits Mary. And Gabriel says, "Do not be afraid." And Mary simply ponders that greeting and thinks about that and tunes into what is going on here and really listens for the message that the angel has for her. And I'm so struck by that and inspired by that. The example of this young woman that we often lift up in Advent and should be lifted up at other times as well, who surely must have felt afraid at the radical news that she would be bearing the Messiah, the Christ child, God with us, and yet was able to receive that call and to say, "Here I am," because she had tuned in to the fact that this was God at work. And I think there are really practical ways that we can do this. One of the ways that I try to move forward, even in the midst of fearful times, is to really get very present in my own body. God is with us, not just in our hearts and in our minds and in our spirits, but in our bodies as well, in this physical presence. Emmanuel is God with us. Jesus shows us that way. And so there are practices that I undergo and recommend and have used with my own children when they're feeling fearful or anxious, to simply focus on breathing, to pay attention to the things that we can see, the things that we can hear, to tune into what's happening right here and right now. And that can really help us move forward when we're feeling fearful. And also can help us tune into the fact that no matter who we are, no matter what we're doing, no matter what life hands to us, that God is with us and we can tune into that presence of God no matter what.